Boy.
No.
Oh boy.
No.
It's just very unfortunate looking, isn't it?
I'm sure it works great, but yeah.
For me, having in Florida, that's just Florida Gators colors to me. So I'm like, is it like a Florida Gators bike? Because that's horrible. And what looks like a Hayabusa cowl at the rear?
That actually does look like the 2007 Hayabusa cowl.
It kind of does.
What the?
This is, What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another Weekends with Yam episode where we're doing things a little bit differently. I figured since I joined Spite for his KLR video, he has joined me for a weekend video where we're gonna be looking at a fun new series that we may be piloting called It Came from Discord. Gee, have I heard that title before, baby?
Very slightly, yes.
Very slightly. It sounds like an old series that I used to do from way back in the day. If you guys remember from back in the day, I used to do a series called It Came from Craigslist, where I looked at a bunch of, horrible, terrible bikes on Craigslist and kind of looked at them and, made fun of them and all that. I figured a fun twist on this one today would be if we did It Came from Discord. So if you want to join up and participate with the Yammy Noob channel on a deeper level, you can hit the link down below to yammynoob.co. It's as little as $5 a month. It gets you full access to Discord, behind the scenes content, all the great stuff we're doing on here. And then we could be looking at your bikes and making fun of them. I'm very excited to look at these bikes today.
Yeah, we've got some eclectic motorcycles in the Discord.
Yes, we got some fun bikes on the Discord server, and I say we just dive right in. Let's do this. All
right, well, first up, we got Wyatt here.
Okay, Wyatt here says, I present to you my first motorcycle, a 1981 CB750K. I bought this bike in October 2021 and chased a thunderstorm while riding back home instead of waiting for the perfectly sunny day that followed. I bought it because I was really burning for a bike last year, and thanks to you guys, this deal kind of fell into my lap. I love the looks, the power, and the sound. I wouldn't recommend it to another new street rider, but I have a good sense of self-preservation and know my limits. Suspension and brakes leave much to be desired. CB750K 1981 for a first motorcycle.
That's a rough start.
That's bold. It's a bold place to start.
It looks like it's in good shape though. We've got some other photos here that'll come up in a second, but I mean,
it honestly is, it's pretty decent shape, yeah. I thought that was like the photo, I think those are all Christmas lights.
Yeah.
I thought it was the photo, like a really grainy, like weird contrast job on Photoshop or something. But yeah, this is kind of like, so if my memory serves me correctly, in the late 70s into the 80s, the 750 lines of bikes started taking on these weird shapes. And they became not so much like the UJMs that we know from the early 70s, but these more weird, kind of weird shaped seats and more upswept bars, and I think they started trying to do some different stuff with them.
Yeah, these bikes started to transform. It's where we started to get bikes like the Goldwing line. It's basically this, but with some big ass fairings on the front is where it started. So yeah, they're starting to see more development and specialization. This was also when Honda was just everyday cocaine, because this was the era when they made the CB919. C, the one with the like crazy output shaft.
Yes.
So there's all sorts of weird stuff going on here, but bold of this dude to start on an inline 4 with 4 carburetors.
Yeah, from the 80s, and yeah, I can imagine that suspension and brake package on that bike leaves a lot to be desired for sure.
Yeah, I mean that is just, also, I can't get over how just immaculate everything looks on it. The more I look at this photo, the more I'm like, there's not a stain on the exhaust, there's not a stain on the down tubes.
I mean, maybe it's just the magic of Photoshop. Maybe it actually is, like that's a little crustier,
Yeah, but it also kind of looks like he took it on a potato, so.
That's true.
I don't know, it just looks really nice.
Yeah, I think overall it definitely fits that classic cafe bike thing. Not cafe bike, standard bike, old 80s Japanese mills. They're pretty cool,
How would you rate it?
Like,
kind of 1 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
What would you rate it?
I think just because it looks so good in these photos, it's like a 7 or an 8 for me. Okay. Just because it's a classic piece of motorcycle history.
That's true. Yeah.
So I really think it's cool. Next up, we've got Calamity Boob
Calamity Boob here with a 2017 Honda Africa Twin. He says, I've had 2 major spine surgeries that have left me unable to truly hike and get around with my photography gear and fishing gear without being in pain or discomfort. Sorry to hear that. Enter the Twin. I can pack all my gear on it and it takes me everywhere I need to go without issue and very comfortably. It is an extension of my passions that keeps me able to participate even though I have a physical handicap. What I hate? Its weight. I call it faticus for a reason. Honda Africa Twin isn't that heavy, is it? Like 500 pounds?
500 pounds, yeah.
I think compared to a GS, it's relatively lightweight. Pretty crazy paint job on the old Africa Twin here. Do you like do some like holographic wrap on it or something? That looks like more normal.
Yeah, that looks like how.
Ooh. Oh, that's nice.
I've seen that on a GS before.
Says, adding a yeet picture for roasting fun, bring it on. Yeah, I can see the gravel. Yeah.
His foot's up in the top of the picture.
Yeah,
that is
you know what that
spectacular
looks like.
off. Yeah.
You know what that looks like. You may or may not have had a fun off with the GS. That's fantastic. But that's what those bikes are for, man. You're supposed to bin them and chuck them around.
Maybe that happened before the crazy wrap job on here.
Maybe that happened. Maybe the crazy wrap job happened because he scuffed up the plastics a little bit. The wrap job's pretty neat. I can't tell if it's one color that kind of moves as you move around it, or if it is like he has like a brown one, a red one, a green one. I think it's like one of those hollow shift color wrap things or whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, honestly. I don't think I've seen that on anything other than like cars.
Yeah, it's probably really hard to wrap some motorcycle body panels like that.
Yeah.
2017 Honda Africa Twin. What do you rate it?
Well, I think this one's pretty cool. I think this one's probably a 7 for me.
Okay.
It's a little bit more ubiquitous than that CB.
That's true, yeah. It's a little more normal. People would definitely know it as a known quantity. I'm also gonna give this one a 6.
A 6.
I'm just waiting until the Turbo Hayabusa shows up. I think somebody has one on our server that's gonna pop up here.
Hopefully that's in here. All right, next up we've got Phantom 10792.
Phantom 10792. They say, we're a motorcycle family. That's awesome. I've got a 2015 Ninja 300. It's my first bike and I still absolutely love it. It has a Delcavic 200mm exhaust. So what if it sounds like a loud lawnmower? It's my loud lawnmower. It's fired with a Corbin comfort seat, TST tail tidy, an integrated tail light, RNG frame sliders, and Mad Hornets bar end mirrors. Also featured is my girlfriend's 2016 R3 and my son's 6-volt spider bike. That is pretty sweet, man. That's pretty cool to see a little motorcycling family there. They love the small displacement, beginner bikes.
Yeah, I mean,
soft spot for the R3s.
They're basically unkillable, and they look like they both run in Delcavic systems. The one on the Ninja is going to be significantly louder, though.
Yeah. Only point of contention, that R3 I think is still running the stock bias ply tires that it came with from the factory.
Yeah.
I would replace those so fast, so fast. Those are so terrible. All right, R3 and Ninja 400 here, spider bike, kind of a little familial unit of small bike fetishists. Sans the kid, come on, let's be fair. What do you think?
I think that this one's probably a 6 for me. I mean, they are running both the classic beginner bikes.
I think I'm with you. Would you say a 6.5?
I'd say a 6.
A 6? I think a 6. Yeah, my third 6 in a row.
Now we've got Hacksaw SF with this Sportster.
Hacksaw SF says, the Iron 1200 Sportster. What can be said about it that hasn't already been said about Nickelback? Yeah, I mean, Sportster 1200. It's about as ubiquitous as it gets.
Absolute known quantity, but I hate the short shot exhausts.
Yeah.
Oh, the short shots. Get a 2-in-1, bro. Just go get a 2-in-1. You'll be happy.
What do you hate about those?
Everybody runs them. They're loud as hell, and they're drag pipes with no scavenging.
Yeah.
Because it's 2-in-2. So if you want to try, especially on a Sportster, you want a little bit of scavenging from a 2-in-1. I mean, it's part of the reason why we got the one that we did when we did our Sportster build.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that he has the raised shocks in this picture. That's good choice.
I'm gonna say I like that. I like that gas tank a lot. It looks kind of cool.
I love these pinstripe styles. I think they did it in 2019. They started these. They look really cool in person.
Yeah, it's a cool looking bike.
And part of me still wants to own a Sportster one day, just because I'm freaking weird about it.
But I get you. I mean, I own a Turbo Hayabusa now, so don't let your memes be dreams. That's why.
What would you rate this one?
I think, it's about as like standard and classic as you get with a Sportster. It is a very middle of the road Sportster. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give it
just so bell curve. You know?
I think a 5 out of 10, but I'm gonna take one away for the short shots, so it's a 4.
4 out of 10.
I hate the short shot exhausts on sports. On any Harley, I don't like them.
Yeah.
So, Taxol SF, get a new set of pipes.
Get a 2-1.
Okay, next up we've got Uncle Jay with...
Oh boy. Oh boy.
No.
Uncle Jay here. My bike is a 2017 Kawasaki Versys 650. I got it because I wanted an ADV bike but didn't want the 10K extra price tag to be able to travel on it. Also played this rich idiot a-hole to get it for about 4K off. Haha. However, I put about 4K into the bike to get it to tip-top shape, so F me, I guess. He got it because he wanted an ADV bike.
Dude.
That's not even close.
No. That's a sport touring bike.
It's a sport touring bike. Emphasis on touring, little emphasis on sport. The little Versys 650. I mean, it's clean. It's clean. For 2017, that's 5 years ago now. It's pretty clean. Let's see some other photos of it if we have the ability to.
He did $4,000 worth of mods.
What do you even do? $4,000 on a Versys.
I can't. Honestly, I can't tell. Like,
where's his Kawasaki anodized parts?
I know.
That's what I need to see.
Like,
did he get color matched panniers or something? Like, is that why it was so expensive?
They come with panniers, don't they?
I think so.
I mean, my bike came with panniers. I mean,
where did I put about $4,000 to get it to tip top? What did you do, bro? I think like a Versys, you'd spend like $300 in a weekend and it'd be tip top shape.
Yeah, isn't that the point of the Versys?
Yeah, like what does it need other than like an oil change and new tires maybe?
It doesn't have a windscreen. I can't see the exhaust.
It doesn't have a windscreen. A Versys 650 without a windscreen. Yeah. Why?
It's just, there's so many things, so many questions. He doesn't even have bark busters or heated grips or, dude, if you're gonna get the Versys Life, go whole hog.
Yeah, if you're gonna do Versys Life, you might as well just go all in, you know?
This just looks like a bone stock motorcycle to me.
It kind of does. I don't know what you could have possibly spent $4,000 on a Versys.
Like even the mirrors are stock.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird one. Maybe we'll have to follow up with Uncle Jay and be like, what exactly did you spend $4,000 on this bike? And what did you do?
It's remarkably clean though.
It looks showroom. I gotta say, it looks super clean. That's a nice bike, but it's still a Versys 650.
Yeah.
I think I gotta do a 3.5 out of 10.
I'm right there with you, 3.5 out of 10. I still, maybe if he's like, I've got 4K worth of mods into the engine and it's actually like a real, I just put an MT-07 engine in here and it's a screamer now.
Yeah.
Maybe we can race that, but
maybe.
Otherwise. All right, next up we've got Johnny Mish.
Johnny Mish, this is my 2020 Moto Guzzi V85 TT. I have about 6,000 happy miles on it since buying it last April. I like the looks, the ever-present torque, and the overall comfort, but I wish the gears were spaced out more for climbing hills and highway cruising. Interesting. I also wish that it could keep more of the cold and or wet wind off my thighs. There are a surprising number of aftermarket parts available. I wouldn't have guessed that on a new V85 TT. I like the snow picks.
Yeah. I mean, the V85 TT, I've seen a couple of these in person.
They're cool.
They are cool motorcycles.
It's a cool bike.
Unique too, because it's the Moto Guzzi and they put the engine on sideways.
Yeah. These have a pretty stout engine in them. It's weird that he says that wish the gears were spaced out more for climbing hills and stuff. I don't know if
it's only a 5 gear.
Is it only a 5-speed?
I think so, yeah.
Oh wow. But I don't know what kind of hills he's really chunking it down. I know they come with like some knobbies, so maybe he's doing like some light adventure stuff, but I can't imagine a big engine like that would have any problems going up hills.
It doesn't have a ton of travel either.
No, it doesn't.
So, It's more like...
It's, in my opinion, more of a sport touring ride sort of thing.
Yeah, crossed with a scrambler.
Yeah, I know that some people like the kind of look of them, and you can kind of get away with doing some light adventure stuff with them, but yeah, I don't know.
Still a cool bike though. You don't see a lot of these.
Pretty cool. Yeah, pretty cool. And I think they're recently updated, right? They just updated them for
2022, I think so.
They got some new stuff on there.
So what are you gonna...
Pretty cool.
What are you gonna rate it?
I think I'll rate it a 7.
I think just because it's unique, I'm gonna give it an 8. Kind of same vein as the CB.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Magic Toaster. Oh boy.
Oh boy. All right. Magic Toaster here says, the one, the only, the Lego Ducati, the savior of the electric motorcycle universe, the 2017 Energica Ego. What I like, instant throttle response and the instant torque, the smooth linear acceleration and how it gives me peak horsepower from 60 miles per hour to 120 miles per hour. It charges overnight, and electricity costs about $1 per 100 miles and can charge at a DC charging station from 0 to 85% in 30 minutes. Things I don't like, it's a hefty 630 pounds, and the infrastructure for charging is not ideal. That's pretty wild. I didn't know they were that heavy. Also, it 100% looks like a Lego Panigale.
Yes.
And I can prove that because I have one right here.
Just happen to have it sitting around. Yep.
I mean, it's like looking in a mirror,
It kind of looked, the front end just doesn't look right to me.
It doesn't look right, no. The weird gigantic eyeballs and the beak thing.
Yeah.
It's just a little ugly in my opinion. Did you know that this is Magic Toaster's first motorcycle?
I did not.
Yeah, he was talking about that the other day on the Discord, how it's his first bike, and he just like tuned down the power and just kind of grew into it. I'm like, that's a pretty crazy first motorcycle.
That's an interesting choice going with, because these things are not cheap.
They're not cheap.
Quite pricey.
Yeah.
I'm still blown away by 630 pounds.
It's more than a Busa. Like a lot more than a Busa.
Yeah, the Busa is like 550.
550, yeah.
Damn.
That's super heavy. Like super heavy.
Where is it? Is it all just in the battery?
It's gotta all be in the battery, man. Because it's a performance electric bike, right? So I'm sure it goes like stink. Yeah. But to get there, you have to have a big ass battery. What are we gonna rate the Energica Ego here?
It's tough, because it is really unique.
It is very unique, and you don't see many of them. And I certainly, if I saw one, I'd notice it. I'd be like, well, look at that,
Also, one cool thing is when you turn an Energica on, they have, or at least the old ones did, they have this like heartbeat, what's it called on the machine where they have the heartbeat lines showing?
EKG?
Yeah, they have that going down the tank, and when you turn it on, it has like a green light that runs down.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, they know how to do some farkles.
Yeah, the Italians know how to market their products, let's be honest. I'm gonna rate it, I think I'm gonna rate it a 7.5. Because it's pretty unique. You don't see many of them. And it is pretty fast still, all things considered. And it's a pretty interesting bike. Yeah.
I think 7.5 is appropriate.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Draxon.
Whoa, Draxon here. Totaled my poor Ducati 1098 Street Fighter after a run-in with some gravel in a turn. Brutal. Had already been saving for an ADV bike for some touring / playing in the dirt, so I decided to ascend out of my street squidding into full-fledged dad mode. I love the bike because it is comfortable enough to ride for hours. It's very capable in the dirt for such a big bike. It also sounds amazing with the FMF pipes on it. It came with all the farkles already, so I slapped on some B&G on it to make it mine. KTM 990 Adventure.
This isn't the 990 ADV guy.
It's not.
Is it?
No.
It's a different 990
It's a different 990 ADV guy. Yeah.
They're growing.
They're growing. Apparently, they're really good. I mean, I can see it from the bones of it. It looks like an old school T7, basically,
Yeah.
That paint scheme, though, is just...
That's loud.
It's loud. Do you think that was factory?
No, it can't be.
It might have been, though. Like some weird one-off factory thing they did?
I mean, KTM's egregious, but that's next level.
It was old school KTM though,
Yeah.
I think the 990s are from like the late 2000s. The wheel and tire combo looks right for sizing. Those tires look like they would do nothing in the dirt, right?
Like flashbacks to my Shinko days.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Do we have any other photos of it?
Yeah, let's see here.
It's pretty ugly. Oof.
It looks worse from that angle.
Yeah, it looks fatter and worse. I'm sure it's very comfortable and nice to ride. The 990 is a good engine.
Yeah.
But, jeez.
Yikes, the like banana shape of it, it literally looks like a banana on two wheels.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna give it a 4.
I think I might give it a 4 too.
It's very ugly. It's just very unfortunate looking, isn't it?
I'm sure it works great, but yeah.
For me, having grown up in Florida, that's just Florida Gators colors to me. So I'm like, is it like a Florida Gators bike? Because that's horrible. Nobody wants that. What do we got next?
Next up, we have Scary Omen with...
What on earth? Okay.
Hell?
Scary Omen. We're getting interesting now. This is now Craigslist bike territory.
Yeah.
Scary Omen here. This is my 1981 Yamaha XS650 that I traded for a 2002 Saturn SC2 for. I think that's a car. At 17 with 2 years on dirt bikes, I got my hands on a 750 Ninja that was crashed for dirt cheap and fixed it and then proceeded to crash it. 25 years later, tired of my buddies riding, I let them convince me into trading my winter beater for this Yamaha. It looked cool and rode like trash, and I was in love because I wasn't gonna ride it a lot. 1,200 miles that year changed my mind on my 3rd daily rider. Good Lord, look at this thing.
Yeah, there's so much happening. Look at the tail.
There's a lot going on. Look how the forks are like slammed into the triples.
Yep.
Or out of the triples. So it's got Clubman, look at this. It's got Clubman bars, and the seat is low as all get out.
Yeah.
What? How does this work? He has like a tank strap holding the, what?
With the nice little testicle smasher right there?
Yeah.
What the?
This is,
And it's a kickstart.
Oh yeah, it is.
I think.
Talk about a death
Jesus
trap.
Christ, look at it.
What are these? Those ergos are
Go. I honestly, I'm at a loss for, the tank shape is so bizarre. That can't be the stock frame, can it?
Maybe. Do you think it's chopped at the top to make room? Because nothing's going down.
Look, there is a frame spar going down.
So the frame spar is going down, but then where is subframe connected to?
I just think it's like hard mounted.
Oh my God. I gotta say, it probably rides like ass.
He says it's his daily rider though.
Impossible. Impossible. There's no way.
What are you gonna give it?
Dude, I don't know. So for uniqueness, like a 9.
Yeah.
But for like my personal senses for motorcycle, like a 2. So I'm gonna average those. I'm gonna give it a 5.5.
I think like a 5.
Yeah.
Or like a 4. This is rough.
The confusion really is just what's getting me. I just don't know what to make of it.
Okay, next up we've got Seiko Yuri?
Seiko Hirai. One of my buddies had a 500 just like this. It was not this clean though. All right, my 1990 GPZ 500S Ninja 500R in America. The reason I chose this bike is a personal one to do with my dad. He had one when he was my age and he wanted one too. Always loved the look of it, fixed it up with him too. It's not exactly fast, but no slouch either. I like most things about it. I have a soft spot for 80s and 90s bikes, but there's one thing I don't like. Look at the absolute unit of a license plate holder. It's like a giant bucktooth. Who the hell came up with that monstrosity?
That is so clean.
It's impossibly clean.
He doesn't have a shot of the
because we just have those 3 photos, right?
Yeah. So, but you can sort of see it here.
It's so clean.
It's immaculate.
It looks showroom. I think for how clean it is, I'm gonna give it an 8.
I think
8 out of 10.
An 8 out of 10. I like the style.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Nowadays it's like unique and retro.
Yeah.
You know.
The 80s are on the comeback.
I'm not sure whether I should be excited or terrified.
Yeah.
Next up we have Full Metal Corgi.
Full Metal Corgi here. So sad that he didn't include his Turbo Hayabusa. He says, it started life as a 1981 KZ1100, my first bike build. It made 135 horsepower and 100 foot-pounds of torque at the rear wheel. While not a lot by today's standards, that's still a lot of torque.
Yeah.
It was on a 1981 shaft drive frame that flexed so bad. It overheated if you stopped for 2 minutes. Everything wasn't working. The engine was, it'll work Roast me, I love the pain. The bike ran like a champ though. I mean, when you say crap bikes, this is what I think of. I think of some like early 80s to late 80s, like little UJM looking thing that you've kind of hopped up and put heat wrapped exhausts on and straight piped
anodized levers.
Anodized levers and the white wall tires and what looks like a Hayabusa cowl at the rear.
That actually does look like the 2007 Hayabusa cowl.
It kind of does, man. And knowing that he's a Turbo Hayabusa guy, he may have just parts binned that and just chunked it on there. I gotta say though, KZ1100 making 100 foot-pounds of torque at the wheel and 135 horsepower. That's kind of fast for that type of bike.
Yeah, that is a ton of power.
It probably has the same energy that our Sportster had, where you're like, it should not be this fast. You know, like why is it doing that?
And it's air-cooled too. It's an air-cooled inline four. So
wild.
I bet
Shaft
this thing
drive.
Was nuts to ride.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a true rat bike, but it does. I think like a 3 for me.
Okay, next up we have, and here we go.
And then Full Metal Corgi said, okay, so Spite said snowblowers are motorcycles, so proof followed by pics and description. So he had a snowblower here that is apparently also a motorcycle.
It's got 6 gears and 2 wheels.
I guess it counts. So he's got a little bit more on the snowblower here. He says, my winter bike is an Ariens A1 Euro, slow boys need not apply. This bad boy has 233 cc's and 10, you read that right, 10 foot-pounds of torque, an absolute beast on the straights and off-road, but it lacks composure in the corners. It'll power wheelie in 6th gear, seriously, and pull all 230 pounds of my fully geared butt down the driveway with reckless abandon. Definitely not for beginners.
I love this photo.
That's quite a snowblower, man. Holy crap. That photo's great, though. Got one more. Go back. Just full suit using it. I love it.
But still no Turbo Busa.
I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to just make it too easy for himself. Because I would have given it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that would have been perfect. Okay, this is cool.
All right. Rodney Miller here. The Monster 1200S is an amazing street bike. Loads of torque at all RPMs. Being the S, it's full Omen suspension and Brembo, so top tier components. However, it is a Ducati, so it keeps trying to kill me. Went over a mountain pass and had no clutch till I got to the lower elevation. The keeper clip on the rear axle nut came out and allowed the nut to back off. Super sketch.
Yeah.
Found this out while riding at the tail of the Dragon. Fun times. That sucks. That's a newer Ducati too. It should not be doing weird shit like that. That is not good. That is actually one of my deepest fears, and it happens when I ride the Turbo Busa more than any other bike, is that one day the wheels are just gonna fall off some bike that I'm riding. I always have a weird fear if it's a bike that I either stitched together or some other, if it didn't come to the factory, I'm like, wheels are gonna fall off. I always think that. I don't know why.
These are cool bikes though. These
are super sweet.
This is the liquid cooled one on the new Evo motor.
It's the new one. Ducati Monster 1200S. I'm gonna give it an 8. It's a nice bike.
An 8, yeah.
Look, you had to take the exhaust off to get the wheel off though. Got the muffler off on the exhaust.
Yeah, that's some Ducati right there.
Yeah.
Next up we have Steel Feather.
Steel Feather here. This is my 2018 Triumph Street Cup. It's my first bike and I got it because it's absolutely stunning in my eyes. It's got everything going for it that I love. It's got torque, looks, and all the old guys love talking to me about their Triumphs when I pull up to the gas station. It's a perfect first bike for me. I never get old with Triumphs, dude. When I had my Daytona, I go to a gas station. They didn't look like that back in my day. I'm like, that's because you're a fossil. Street Cup's a cool bike. I don't know much about the Street Cup specifically, but I can tell it's based on the Bonneville platform. Has like the single seat on it. Some British tank grips, which is kind of cool. The yellow looks cool.
Yeah, I like it. The yellow and the silver.
Sweet. Yeah. These are such great bikes, man. The Bonnevilles are so nice. Mm-hmm. Like, if you've never ridden a Bonneville before, you kind of owe it to yourself to ride them. They're actually incredibly nice bikes.
I bet it sounds good with that slip-on on there.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give this one a 7.5.
7.5 seems fair. Yeah.
I like it.
Next up, we have Burger.
I think this is our last one of the day. Burger here with the liquor cycle. I needed something to do during lockdowns and I was too poor to afford a real bike, so I built this. Now that I have my SV, it doesn't get much use nowadays, especially since it has a chronic case of gremlins, but I'm still proud of it. Look at that thing, man. Absolute liquor cycle. 2-stroke, little liquor cycle.
Yeah, I mean, the whole, so, is it, this has to be he bolted the engine on, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that bicycle looks wild, but the springs on there, it looks like some sort of ancient motorcycle, or an ancient bicycle front end.
Yeah,
but,
no, this has to be a bolt-on project thing. Yeah, the geometry on that frame for that bicycle is pretty weird. And then he's got the super tall handlebars coming up on it.
Yep.
Still pedal powered to the chain and the crank. Mm-hmm. I think he bought it as a kit because I see sickbikeparts.com on the side there on his luggage.
I still want to build one of these one day.
I think I would too. They're so peculiar.
He got the 2-stroke kit. They make 4-stroke kits now.
Yeah.
They're a little bit more expensive and a little bigger, but these things are. I got to imagine that exhaust gets hot as.
Has to. I mean, even if it's a little 49cc 2-stroke, it's got to get hot, you know. Mm-hmm. Absolutely wretched. Truly a wretched little bike. But I love it, you know. Yeah. I'm gonna give it a 5 because it's very wretched, but I do love it.
I think 5 is appropriate.
Yeah.
And that is the end of our submissions.
All right. Well, thank you to all the Discord boys who submitted your photos, and thank you all for watching. If you want to join on the Discord, remember hit the link down below to gamingneeb.co. As little as $5 a month, you get access to Discord server. Hang out with us. We're on there every day. You can ask us questions. You get behind the scenes, exclusive content, all kinds of great stuff. You're not going to want to miss it. And we'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Keep watching Gaming Noob!